You've probably heard grapefruit is risky if you're on blood thinners, but what if that's just the beginning? There are other fruits, ones you might eat weekly, that can quietly amplify, weaken, or even block your medication's effect. Let's gently uncover the fruits that protect your flow and the ones quietly working against your medication, maybe even in your kitchen right now. After 60, many people are prescribed blood thinners to prevent strokes, to manage irregular heart rhythms, to keep the blood flowing, but not too freely. And while most people follow the prescription, they're rarely told about the foods that might interfere, especially fruit, because fruit wears a health halo. But some fruits can thin the blood too much or block medication so they can't do their job. In this video, we'll explore 5 key fruits. 3 you may want to limit or avoid, and 2 you can enjoy freely, even if you are on medication. Let's begin with the one we all know, but may not fully understand. Number 1, grapefruit, the medication blocker. It's bright, familiar. You've probably been told for years it's a healthy choice. And once, maybe it was. But after 60, especially if you're on blood thinners, grapefruit may no longer be your ally. Here's why. Grapefruit contains compounds that block an enzyme in your liver called CYP3A4. This enzyme helps your body safely break down over 50 medications, including common blood thinners like warfarin, apixaban, and clopidogrel. But when grapefruit is present, that enzyme is blocked, and your medication starts to pile up. What should be a steady, safe dose becomes a slow buildup in your bloodstream. Think of it like a traffic jam in your liver. No matter how carefully you take your pills, if grapefruit blocks the road, everything gets stuck. And that healthy half fruit at breakfast? It might be undoing the very thing your doctor is trying to stabilize. I once worked with Tom, 73. He took his meds exactly as prescribed, but still felt dizzy, off balance, strangely tired. Only later did he mention his grapefruit habit. He switched to oranges, and within a few weeks, his balance and his energy returned. So, here's the shift. If you're on blood thinners or heart meds, avoid grapefruit completely. Juice, fresh, or even soda flavoring. Instead, choose oranges, kiwis, or blueberries. They nourish your body without blocking your healing. Because staying well after 60 isn't just about what you eat. It's about what your body can still work with. Number 2, cranberries, the amplifier. They're small, red, and praised in every health article for urinary support. You see them in juices, dried snacks, energy bars, and they seem like a safe, smart choice. But if you're taking warfarin or other blood thinners, cranberries may be doing more than just helping your kidneys. They contain natural compounds that can enhance the effects of warfarin, making your blood thinner than intended. This might sound helpful, until a small bruise becomes a larger one, a paper cut takes too long to clot, or a nosebleed appears without cause. Think of cranberries like a volume dial, one that quietly turns up your medication's power, even if you haven't touched the dose. And here's the tricky part. It doesn't take much. 1 cup of juice, a handful of trail mix, even a health shot with cranberry concentrate. I remember June, 74, disciplined, health conscious. Drank a glass of cranberry juice every morning to stay clean. But her INR levels were unstable, forcing her doctor to adjust meds again and again. Until one day, someone asked about her routine. They paused the juice. Within 2 weeks, her labs normalized. If you take warfarin, be mindful with cranberries. Dilute the juice, watch your portions. Or try pomegranate or blueberries, gentler on your system, just as rich in antioxidants. Because even healthy things need context after 60, especially when your blood is already walking a fine line. 3, mango, the quiet enhancer. It feels like a treat, software, sweet, tropical. Mango doesn't scream danger. In fact, it whispers pleasure, especially on a warm afternoon, or blended in a smoothie. But when you're on blood thinners, that whisper might carry more weight than you think. Mango contains 2 things you won't see on the front label: vitamin A in high doses and natural salicylates, plant compounds with blood-thinning properties. On their own, they're not harmful, but paired with medication, they may gently enhance its effect, leading to a blood-thinning state deeper than intended. You won't feel it in one bite, but you might bruise more easily, see blood take longer to clot, or feel lightheaded when rising, even with normal hydration. Imagine mango like a feather added to an already balanced scale. Light, yes, but if the system is already fragile, even softness can tip the balance. I recall Peter, 70. He added dried mango to his snack mix, daily. No one questioned it until his small scrapes turned stubborn. The clue wasn't in the pills, it was in the fruit. What's the wiser move? Enjoy mango in small amounts. Stick to fresh, ripe slices. Avoid dried versions with added sugar or concentrates. And pair it with fibrous or potassium-rich foods, like leafy greens or avocado, to keep your system grounded. Because even nature's sweetest gifts need thoughtful timing when the body becomes more sensitive. After 60, healing isn't about giving things up. It's about learning what carries quiet weight. 4. Oranges, the gentle citrus. After hearing so much about grapefruit's risks, some people start avoiding all citrus, just to be safe. But here's the truth. Oranges are not grapefruit's twin. In fact, they may be one of the most reliable fruits you can lean on. Oranges provide vitamin C, potassium, and water, all of which gently support heart health and circulation. But unlike grapefruit, they do not interfere with CYP3A4, the enzyme your liver needs to process medications. Think of oranges like a warm sunrise after a stormy night, bright, steady, and not trying to fix everything at once. They don't thin the blood, they don't block medications, they just support what's already working. Many seniors ask, but can I have citrus at all? Yes, and oranges are often the safest place to start. I remember Diane, 68. She avoided all citrus for years out of fear, but once her dietitian guided her back to small orange slices, she said something surprising. It made breakfast feel alive again. Here's the balance. Enjoy one small orange per day, whole, not juiced. Skip the concentrate, the added sugar, the fortified drinks. Just the fruit, with its fiber and natural pace. Because after 60, you don't need food that forces change. You need food that meets you gently, right where you are. 5. Blueberries. Vessel support. Without risk. They don't look powerful, tiny, dark, and often forgotten in the freezer aisle. But blueberries are one of the safest and most supportive fruits you can eat, especially if you're on blood thinners. While other fruits might interact with your medication, blueberries take a different path. They don't thin the blood. They don't block enzymes. Instead, they quietly strengthen the walls of your blood vessels, making them more flexible, more resilient, more stable. That's thanks to their rich content of flavonoids, especially anthocyanins, the pigments that give them their deep blue color. These compounds have been shown to lower inflammation, protect the inner lining of arteries, and even support cognitive function. Think of blueberries like gardeners for your circulatory system. Not changing the flow, but tending to the soil, making sure everything holds together. I remember Charles, 72. He was hesitant to eat fruit at all after being prescribed apixaban, but once he added a daily handful of frozen blueberries to his breakfast, he noticed his digestion improved, his energy stayed steady, and most importantly, his blood tests stayed within range. Here's your rhythm. Add half cup of blueberries to your oats, yogurt, or mid-morning snack. Fresh or frozen, both carry the same quiet strength. Because some healing doesn't need to make noise. It just needs to show up, every day doing its work without interference. And that's what blueberries do. After 60, balance becomes more fragile. Not every fruit that once helped you still belongs on your plate today. But this isn't about fear. It's about knowing what still fits your rhythm, because some fruits block, some overdo, and a few simply walk with you, quietly and in sync. You don't need to fear your fruit bowl. You just need to meet it with new eyes. Eyes that understand not just what's healthy, but what's healthy for you now. Comment balanced flow if even one of these surprised you. Sometimes the smallest insight can protect the most vital system in your body. And next time, we'll explore 3 forgotten foods that naturally support healthy circulation without medication. Because your blood doesn't just move with medicine, it moves with nourishment, with rhythm, with trust, and that trust begins with what you choose to eat next.